Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's Friday afternoon, time for a Rockstar interview with Sherri Johnson Coaching. I'm Sherri Johnson, your host, and I'm excited because today we have an absolute awesome guest on the show. I'm so excited to have him here. Mike Cuevas from San Diego, and the company, which I love, is Real Estate Marketing Dude. Or is it Dude?
It's whatever you want, Sherri, but we'll call it Real Estate Marketing Dude. We do have a lot of dudes and dudettes, though, to be
So
correct.
it's such a great brand. Your podcast has over 1 million downloads. So I can't wait to break this into a conversation today. If you're getting on right now, I'm just going to let some people hop on while we talk for a minute. But my producer finds all these awesome guests like you, and it's a small world. We have so many things in common. You're originally from Chicago. You're now in San Diego. Mm-hmm. Mike, would you just tell everybody just a quick, what's your background?
Sure.
You had a brokerage, you do unbelievable, video and digital marketing for agents today. Talk about just like where you're from. And I know you have some awesome kids. I want to hear about that too. And then people who are watching, please tell us where you're tuning in from. And we want to hear from you as well. So welcome.
My name is Mike Cuevas. Real Estate Marketing Dude is our company name. Was a real estate agent for 16 years or so. 2002 to 2017 was when I left Chicago. I got burnt out, to be honest with you. I'm really good at marketing and generating business. What I hated doing was actually working the business on weekends. So I had a midlife crisis, decided to go, hey, let's go and really take Real Estate Marketing Dude to the next level, move to San Diego. And here I am. I practice what I preach. I'm a big branding and marketing person, and everything that I did to market my real estate business is the same way I'm marketing Real Estate Marketing Dude business. And it's all the same thing. So like whatever we're going to chat about today, I promise you, it's not going to even be a real estate thing. It's going to be a personal branding thing, because that's what content creation actually does at the end of the day. It creates attention around your brand and makes you more popular, and therefore you start attracting business. So don't overthink this lead generation thing in the marketing space, folks, because 80% of the business is going to come from people you personally met, you already used in the past, or you probably already know.
Wow. And so tell us now, all right, so I think that first comment from Chicago is from our operations manager, Carissa Gagnon, giving you a shout out. I know you two know each other, which is such a small world. So hey, Carissa, glad you're on. And also Brian Salem from my town, from Cleveland, Ohio, Salem team. So I want to ask you, and we jump in here, agents are so confused right now. They don't know how to do video. They don't know what videos to make. Can you help break that down? Help agents understand why video, first of all, how they can scale it, and what they can do with this, however you want to frame it to start.
Sure.
And we can expand
so, so we'll start from the beginning here. First off, if you're going to look at video as lead generation, you're already SOL. It's not going to work because it's not lead generation. Videos and creating videos doesn't generate leads. It generates attention. And with attention generates conversation, and conversation then eventually generates trust and then a client. So if you approach video that you're going to go out and generate a bunch of leads with it, you're already setting yourself up for a losing battle. Not to say that some videos aren't meant for lead generation, but when we're talking about building an ongoing video strategy, at least for me, it's more about which are the right type of videos for your personality and or your brand. Now, one of the most unique things about all of us as human beings is that God only made one of you, and that's pretty damn cool. That means that each one of you has your own individual personal brand. The problem, to answer your question, is what the hell is that? How do I know what type of videos are done for me? So we'll reverse engineer this thing right now, and we'll start with the show Diners, Dives, and Drives. Have you ever seen that, Sherri?
I have.
So that's a food show, right, with Guy Fieri. And Guy Fieri, we know what the context of that show is. That show's about grease pit foods for drunk dudes, essentially, right? He's not covering French bistros. He's not covering sushi restaurants. What he's talking about is grease pits for dudes, and he's the perfect host for that. He's a dude like I am. He's got bleach blonde hair, earrings like way up here, flannels, and he's the perfect guy for that show, right? So when we're crafting a video strategy, what I'm more interested in is if you had a show, what the hell would you call it? Because it's not the videos you do, it's how you do them that people remember. So for example, put that in context. We had a guy out here. The easiest one that people understand. We're like, oh, I get it, Mike. Is we had a guy out here. His name's Joe McIntosh. He was in San Diego, but then he just moved to Charlotte. So he's starting all over. Okay. Brand new agent at the time, retired from the Navy. And that means that most of his business can come from the Navy, like the veterans. Like he has a network there that you can't infiltrate. I'll never have the relationship he'll have with someone who's in the service because I was never in the service. So therefore, we had to come up with a marketing strategy for him. We created a show called San Diego Salute. If San Diego Salute was going to go out and start doing business owner interviews, they would have to be veteran-owned businesses or businesses that support veteran causes. If he was going to go out and do a neighborhood tour, he's doing neighborhoods near Camp Pendleton, not neighborhoods near La Jolla. He's got to speak to his audience. He's got to speak to his brand. And when you start creating the stuff you're really meant to create, you start smiling while you're doing it. And when you smile while you do it, people don't get you out of their head because no one remembers what the hell you're talking about. They remember how you talked about it. 90% of communication when it comes to video is going to be based on the tonality that I'm using, my body language, and how I'm using my voice dialect right now is what people are remembering if I want to get really caught up. Blah, 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 blah. See what I mean? Yep. So and another good example this year, you remember the Wendy's commercial with the old ladies? What they used to say?
Where's
the old
beef?
Ladies where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
Okay, so what do we remember about that entire marketing campaign? Was it the slogan of where is the beef, or was it who the hell was saying it?
The slogan or the people? I don't know. Probably that it was old ladies saying it.
Yes.
Mostly because it was funny.
Yes.
Because they were saying it.
If I was just saying where's the beef, that campaign doesn't take off.
No.
But because those old ladies in the gowns are saying, where's the beef? Where's the beef? It's something we still talk about today. Right. So when we're creating content and we're creating media, what we're really focused on is which is the right type of media or content for me to create as an individual brand. And then in what context, essentially. And everybody has one.
Well, I have to agree with you. You're speaking my language. I am a huge fan of 93% of what we say is our body language and the tone of voice that we're saying. 55% is body language, 37% is tone of voice. And if you're Debbie Downer, and it's like, wah, 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 right? If you're not magnetic, no one's going to want to work with you and no one's going to remember you. So keep going with this because I love it. I think if you're listening, we have this opportunity as a real estate industry to use video to share your personal brand on purpose, not because you think it's going to generate a bunch of leads, but because it's going to create a buzz about you that you are now you're real estate famo. You're like a real estate guy, Gary, who's doing the show, but now you're doing your own thing in your marketplace. So continue. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent. Here's
where everybody gets stuck at, right? And everybody will sort of get stuck with this point. It makes a lot of sense. We just don't, and it's for any independent entrepreneur, personal brand business. This is a mortgage broker, insurance broker, real estate investor, real estate agent, anyone who essentially works for themselves in a referral-based business. We don't view ourselves as a brand, period. Because it's weird. I'm a dad. I have kids. I bleed. Like, I'm not a brand. It took me years to figure out that I'm just a dude. I used to be Chicago real estate dude. Now I'm real estate marketing dude. If I want to start an insurance company, I'm going to be insurance dude. It doesn't matter. Dude is just where I feel most comfortable being unapologetically me. So when you figure out what that is for you, then you got to scream it from the rooftops. Because if you were going to start a restaurant, let's say I'm going to go start a taco stand. What the hell would I be doing at that taco stand? Every damn day I'm screaming tacos, tacos, tacos. Mark, come get my tacos. Come get my tacos. I'm going to be marketing my tacos. Why? Because I would feel like that's a brand. So that's just mindset. You are the brand. People aren't hiring the broker you work for. They're hiring you. Nobody cares what brokerage you're with. I can promise you that. People care about the individuality. But 80% of them will use the first person they come in contact with.
So if I'm listening to you right now and I want to jump in the deep end and do some video, what types of, do I start a Sherri Johnson real estate show? Do I make a YouTube? What kind of videos should I do to market myself and my brand?
Doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. You do whatever. So let's rewind it and say, this is a podcast, right? Mm-hmm. Why are we starting this podcast today? To create media, to inform more agents, bring more attention to your brand, And look what we did. We named the podcast Rockstar Interview. Okay. So I'm approaching it no differently than if I approached a podcast. For an individual real estate agent to start a podcast locally is a very tough battle to climb. A national one's different, right? But pretend you're starting a podcast, but you're just not doing a podcast. We're doing a show, but we're doing a video series. Right. Same exact concept. So if you're going to start a podcast, you would have to name a show. Well, if you start a video series, you're going to name a show. And the reason why we do it is because it gives us an endless amount of content to create. I'll never run out of stuff to say once I know what my theme is. Just like I don't run out of stuff to say on my podcast. I have a theme. I could talk through it without a script, without anything, because it's part of my brand, because I've identified it.
Well, I have to say this because I feel the need to say it, because you are a real estate dude. You Rock has been my sort of brand before I had Sherri Johnson Coaching. It has been literally, it's synonymous with saying my name. And so I remember thinking, because I have a bunch of 30-year-olds in my marketing team who all said, your podcast should be named You Rock because that's who you are. And I said nothing because I didn't want to be the 51-year-old saying, can I still say You Rock? Because that's who I am. And unapologetically, you just said to me, you use real estate dude, marketing dude, you use real estate marketing dude, or real estate dude, or real estate insurance dude. I believe that I created that little bit of a brand. I'm using that as myself to give people an example. But I can imagine if I were selling houses every day right now, I would be wanting to differentiate me and my service and myself and my brand and the uniqueness of why every single person in my town in Cleveland should use me. So yeah. I love this. And I think it's all about saying how different we are. You said you get attention with these videos. That's what we're doing. We're getting attention. Yeah. So should I have, if I do a video series, should I have episodes? Should I have, the steps in the process? Do I talk about the community? Do I do both?
So you talk about all of it. It's a matter of, and everyone's going to drive towards different video strategies. Like these big, burly, tough machismo guys, they're not going to get out there and do business owner interviews, right? So why the hell we're going to try to get them to do it? It just doesn't fit a lot of their brands. Like, I'm too tough to do a business owner interview. You get that from the machismo guys all the time. It doesn't mean video is bad for them.
Right.
Everyone has a video strategy. So it depends on whether you're going to talk about real estate content. Let's go back to the San Diego Salute. All right. So this is a veteran brand. If he's going to talk about real estate content, he's going to do it in the form of his buyer boot camp, seller boot camp. If you don't want to listen to him, drop and give him 20. So what we're talking about is a communication strategy, because that's ultimately whom you resonate with. The problem everybody says, though, is, hey, Sherri, but one guy here might get mad at me or might not like me. Who gives a fuck? Like, seriously, you're not supposed to resonate with everybody. And the second you think you are, you're trying to compare yourself to God, and you are nowhere near that. So don't even try. Embrace whom you are and scream it from the damn rooftops, because you wake up every morning with the same damn face.
Amen. Stop trying to be something we're not.
Yes.
And I agree.
And I switched.
Not everybody's going to like what you say, and get over it. Get over ourselves, get over how we look, get over how we sound, and get over the fact that we can't please every single person. I totally agree. So does Brian Salem. Rock it out.
You know what? Do you ever see some of the most popular videos that you'll see on YouTube or any show will be like a woman in her hair rollers, no makeup done, totally just fresh out of bed. And why is that? Because people appreciate and cheer on authenticity. So you have to, the more human you become, I believe the more you attract. And the more content you create, just the more attention you have. Now, let's get into how it leads the business, is because 10 to 15% of people who consume or see or remember your content, they'll be moving this year, and most of them won't even know it yet. But at the same time, 100% of those people have a referral for you, because everyone knows someone who's moving this year. So to answer your question on frequency is going to be based upon budget and personality. 1 to 2 videos a month is all you need if you're just trying to build a brand. And just try to get in front of people, because that means I'm publishing 2 videos a month. Every 2 weeks, a new video is coming out. If I do that consistently, and I post all my videos to social, post them to my channel, email them to my database, put them on my blog, and I consistently publish and distribute the videos the same way, it's a popularity contest. So when people ask, what's the ROI? How do you do this? Well, Let me ask you, if you did 2 videos for a year, that's 24 videos over the course of the year, right? So let's just break down the math on that. You would have to, how much more business would you generate? How many more eyeballs or views would you get? And you have to be motivated by the stats, because the attraction and lead generation really are the same thing. They're just different. Both lead to conversations. If I'm buying leads off Zillow, what am I really doing? I'm buying conversations with people who want to talk about that house. Correct. If I'm having conversations off Messenger because someone just saw me in a business interview, I'm putting that person in my email address, and I'm still in my email list, and I'm still having conversations, because it's not a matter of time of when or if they're going to move. It's a matter of time of when they're going to move. So I focus on building an audience of people and playing the numbers game, just like you would if you were farming a neighborhood. Yep. The only difference between farming a neighborhood and farming your database is that a neighbor or a farm doesn't refer strangers. Your database does.
So lead that into so we build an audience, and we built that audience through video. And then how do we retarget those same people? What would be some methods to sort of retarget the same people to see those 24 videos?
So what we do is always upload everyone's database into their Facebook account. So cell phone numbers and email addresses. Regardless of what you guys are doing on video, you should always be promoting to your sphere of influence at the very bare minimum, because you get such a low reach on your organic pages. Your personal page only reaches like 18% of that of your friends, which means you're missing 80% of your referral sources. So it's essential that you keep your content in front of your referral sources more than anything. That's the only reason we run ads. Your business page doesn't get anything. I mean, you might as well not even have one unless you're going to pay to play, because you're going to get less than a 4% reach on it. So, but it's a great tool to use to run ads to the people who don't see your personal page. That's my entire strategy. It's very simple. The most popular realtor is always the one who wins. How many agents have you had?
How many
Sherri,
what?
How many agents have you had coached in your brokerages over the years?
Thousands.
Did you ever notice there's always one that sort of sticks up, does more business? And that's the one everyone talks shit about. Why?
Because they're not afraid. They're out in front. They have a brand. They're just doing their own thing. They're in their own lane, and they're out in front, and they don't worry about everybody else. Bottom line.
The only difference I ever see with them between agents that aren't producing is that those agents just have more attention on their brands. That's it. They're more popular. More people know what they do than know what the agent who's not producing does. They're not smarter usually. It's usually not a matter of being smarter or selling more deals or having a certain level of experience. It's always a matter of attention.
It is a most popularity contest. The scalability, talk about this, how the difference between connecting with your sphere, sort of the old way, versus this, how I try to explain to agents that one video seen by 5,000 people or 2,000 people or 1,500 people that know you, how is that sort of the same as, this digital connection, this, prospecting online or sending it out? And you said, by the way, too, everyone forgets to email their database a video. So it's one of our big things. We're always like, don't forget to email your database. And they forget. They post it on social. They forget to send it out on their email database. But how do we, how can we, I forget my question now because I went off in 2 other questions, but you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah. So when you're doing just like this podcast, let's just use this because everyone's in this context already. This podcast, when you get done with this episode, you're going to go out and promote the episode, right? So I'm going to promote the episode. Why are we doing that? 'Cause we're bringing more attention to our brand. This podcast is just the excuse to do it. I'm always trying to add value to people, whether it's a webinar like this or it's something like that. And we cannot stop talking to our database. The problem is no one knows how to talk to them. So if I were to just talk about work all the time with all my friends, I have friends coming in San Diego this weekend. If I just spent the whole weekend talking about videos and stuff, trust me, they wouldn't call me next time they come in town. Well, if you talk about work all the time with your database, they're going to tune you out too. Doesn't mean you stop talking with them. So I look at video as a way to, first and foremost, you nurture your database with it. Hey, don't forget I exist. I'm still here. Don't forget I exist. The more entertaining, the better. That's what you're doing with video. You're putting it in front of them through several channels. One of those channels is video email. So yes, every video you do should get sent to your database for video email. The more it doesn't talk about real estate, the better it's going to do. Number two, it has got to go to all your social channels. So go ahead and splash it on all your social channels. Who the hell do you think you're connected with? Last time I checked, everyone lives somewhere. So that means 10 to 15% of people who see your content, they're moving this year, and most won't even know it yet. They're going to get sick. Some are going to die. Some are going to get divorced, and some are going to get relocated. Some are going to win the damn lotto and buy a new house. Some are going to have kids like me. So it doesn't matter. It just matters when they do need your services. 80% of them are going to close with the first person they meet with. That's why attention matters. But I'm not marketing my database just for that direct business. What I'm really marketing for is their referral business, because all of my 5,000 friends on Facebook have a referral for me if I program them to send it. All of my email list has a referral for me if I program to send it. All of my LinkedIn clients have a referral for me if I program myself to sell it. So when you create content consistently, you make yourself more referable, period.
I love that.
You do it when you're selling your shit all the time. No one's going to tune you in. Just like if I sold my shit the entire time on the show, you guys would have tuned me out.
No, as a matter of fact, free value add brings about a following. That following watches you. They tune in. They see your video every week, every 2 weeks. You become that person who's just bringing out awesome value to the community that has nothing to do with real estate and everything to do with, hey, guess who's at the center of the universe for that person watching that video every single 2 weeks is you. And you are synonymous with real estate because you are continually top of mind. And I want to say something you brought up earlier. And someone made this, and I think it was another interview I did. It might've been Will Penny. Agents, we don't want to, we'll talk to people once we know they want to buy or sell a house, but we are scared to talk to people before that. And it's like it's the craziest thing. So I say to people, the whole idea is this 80% are going to use the first agent that they find and that they talk to. And 10 to 15 are going to be moving. And you're going to be the one to maximize that opportunity if you're in front of them. I think that's what Mike is talking about. So go ahead.
Yeah. You don't need 3,000 million people to know who the hell what you're doing. You need like 100 people, like literally, because of the amount of money we make per sale. Like, come on. Everyone tries to reach 100,000 people. Dude, I'd rather own the attention of 300, because those 300, the average agent does 6 to 12 deals a year. Like, you could almost trip on that if like being a closet agent. So like, you literally have to do the bare minimum. Like, just in conversations, I'm going to naturally run into people who are moving. Whether or not they're going to hire me is a different story. But I want to get back to another question you said. So the other thing though, is when you're distributing content, first, it's about an attention game. Look at me, right? So you publish it to all your personal channels. But once you're done with that, you want to multi-purpose it, because I'm going to put it on YouTube. Not every video is going to perform on YouTube. Your YouTube strategy will be dependent upon the content. But I'm also going to put it on my site, because the more content collectively I create over time, the bigger my brand's going to grow. So this isn't just for creating and marketing your database. That's my primary reason, but I'm also multi-purposing it for the larger brand down the road, because if someone does click on my site, and as I add content to it, and I have a video on every single page, like, I already beat the next site they click on, because they're going to connect with me a lot more personally. That means I'm going to stick out. The other thing is that right now, no one's doing this. And I know people are starting to get on video, but collectively, nobody's doing this. Like, we have people in some of the most podunk towns in the country. They're dominating just because they're the only one in their market, literally on video, with 12,000, 10,000 agents. So when we're looking at brand differentiation, there's two ways you do it. One is you offer something different. Okay. That's why Redfin could go into a market and start transacting immediately, because they have a unique selling proposition in the form of a buyer rebate. Most real estate agents don't have a unique selling proposition. So the second way you stand out is by doing something different. That's why I create content, because no one is.
And listen, if I had to tell you why you should work with me over everybody else I better know how to do that. I better have a unique value proposition. when it comes up in part of doing the video is getting the attention. You mentioned repurposing, and I'm glad you did. I want to ask you about Facebook groups. Are those places where people can interact with their sphere, and going deep into it, going deep into a database of 300 is better than having 1,000 leads. I'm a coach that says you don't need 350 leads to
better
sell.
than having 50,000 leads.
No.
I heard you say the name Will Penny. So I'm doing a webinar with Will next week. And yes, Facebook groups is what he's doing is 100% accurate. You know, if he were to use video, he would put the video in the group along with all the other places he posts it. And the video would just help build his brand further, because video is just more impactful than any other form of communication, because it has all the elements of sound, view, body language, and tonality.
Totally. You know, I tell people they're either magnetic and attracting people, or we are repellent. You are repellent and you don't attract people. And that's part of why you're not selling houses. So I have to be, if you use what you have, you know, an agent in Indiana that I coached did she was cursing me out. She's like, I don't want to do video. I said, do it. And done is better than perfect. You will thank me. Well, she jumped into video. She has several videos a week. Her business went from, $50 to $80 million. Literally, they are crushing it. And she says to me, people ask her if she's not on, they're like, where's your video? We haven't seen you. Yeah. We want to see. And so, again, and she's not talking about every video is not about a house. It's actually her kids. It's her with the hair rollers. I mean, she's not doing that, but that's basically the authentic self that's being portrayed on these videos. We
don't have to sell real estate. You could, like, the positioning on video when you're covering like community, like, we don't sell houses. We sell the community the houses reside on. So like the positioning is out of a tour guide, you guys. It's very simple. If you're going to sell real estate, you should know every in and act and nook and alley and cranny in your market. Like, that's your job. That's why I'm hiring you. So when you're out in the market telling me about the best things of the community, you are reminding people you're in real estate. You're just not doing it in such a douchebag type of way of saying buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. You're really saying, hey, check out this neighborhood. Did you know this? Hey, did you know this place went there? And it's storytelling, not selling. There's a big difference between that. And that's why most people don't like selling. I hate selling. I don't want to, hey, buy my stuff, dude. Yeah. Like, people don't. That's why most people so I said at the beginning, if you approach this as a sales thing, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. If you approach it as a branding, attraction, and personal branding thing, the mindset will take you into the future and make the consistency happen.
I'm so glad you said that again, because it is, we're selling ourselves, but it's not just like, hey, buy a house with me. It's, this is me. This is who I am. I resonate to you. You like how I talk. You like the value I bring. You like that I'm funny and I'm short and, whatever, like all these really things about me that, because literally you just said, no one's going to remember what you said. They're going to remember how they felt when they watched your video. And I think, if you're selling your brand, I have this thing. We always say, first you sell yourself and then you sell a house. Like, we're not selling ourselves. It's just sleazy sales pitch here. And we have Kami. Hello. All right. And good to see you on the show. Does anybody have any questions for Mike while I'm continuing to throw questions at him with the punch? We got that. That's awesome. So we are like talking about the videos. I don't know if agents are still like, because here's what they say to me. I want to do a video. I have to make it perfect. I think that another big thing to repeat here is that nobody wants a green screen. That's like 90s. That's like fake. That's almost that sort of robotic. I don't know. It's just not real. So the more I mess up and the more I just talk like a normal person, right, Mike? The idea is to be.
I do 90% of our videos on green, and it's all on how you edit and how you do it. Everybody's going to have a different way that they want to appear or presence they want to make on video. So some people will be more appropriate being live. Some people more in an office setting. Some people are more in green. I love green for editing because it makes it easy and you can make anyone look like they're saying one long sentence with one line at a time.
Okay.
So that's why we like it. That's how you get around it. It's when you're live, you can't do that. So most people would start on green, at least at our camp, just because they coached through it.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter because it's whatever you're going to be more consistent in. Nobody's going to care about how you shoot your videos except you. No one's really caring that much about you, dude. You're not that important. So like, don't overthink the content. Like if a shaky video on Facebook Live is better than no video at all. And it doesn't matter how you're doing it versus consistently doing it. You are going to see a need to enhance editing and production quality, though, and that's already happening right now because people are not tuning into the shitty videos. They're tuning into the more produced ones and more edited ones nowadays because everybody's doing the basics. So it's like a little bit of you're seeing that happen nationally on all the social channels. So people are having to get more creative with the content. 4 years ago, you just had to get on. Now it's a little bit of consistency and creativity.
And we have a question or ask for more details on retargeting database on Facebook and how to actually do it.
Yeah, Brian, you could just upload, just download your cell phone's numbers right off your cell phone and then download your email addresses. Go into Facebook and create a custom audience. And then you could put ads in front of all those people on Facebook. Literally just by hitting the boost button. You're just trying to stay in front of them. You're not trying to do anything more complicated than say, hey, see me, see me, see me. So it's very simple. Just you could, and I have videos on this on my site if you want to, but yeah, just upload custom audience. Just look up in YouTube. You'll find a bunch of videos how to upload a custom audience inside of YouTube or inside of Facebook.
And I have a feeling there are some folks who don't even know what we're talking about. So can you explain what retargeting is?
Retargeting is, there's several different ways you can do it, but retargeting is just anyone who you're creating a custom audience of people, and there's different types of retargeting lists. So if you guys visit my website today, you're going to be retargeted by me because I'm retargeting people visiting my website. If you guys are engaged with my page today, I'm going to create an engagement custom audience. So I'll re-engage with people that have liked, commented, or viewed any of our content. And then I have you can upload an email list or cell phone number list inside of Facebook. And then you could retarget that audience, which is called custom audience. So
custom audience, right.
Anybody who's warm, essentially, you always want to be in front of. And anyone who's in real estate, that's anyone you know. That's your friends, your family, your aunts, your uncles, your kid's soccer coach, anyone that you would expect to buy or sell a house to.
I want to ask you this. Is there a time that once somebody watches a video on Facebook that Facebook deems that person engaged with you and then they become part of an audience? Is that a real thing?
As long as you set it up, yeah.
Okay.
As long as you create a custom audience and you tell Facebook on the back end, hey, I want you to create an audience of people who have engaged with my page. Once you set it up once, it's just there.
And then we have a question here. Can you use a live photo and turn it into a video reel?
I believe so. I think you can do anything with reels, but I haven't got into the reel stuff yet. I'm still trying to get my TikTok channel up, but we're hiring someone to help me with that now. But yeah, I'm going to start on TikTok. Short form content is what she's talking about. And yes, it's very popular, but it's a different form. You know, there's long form content, which you see is better for YouTube. You have short form content, which I love for nurturing and for attention. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to ask you, what is the right length of a video? Is it 30 seconds? Is it less than that?
It's relative to the context that you're using it. There isn't a universal video strategy. The strategy is, okay, why are you doing this? What's your goals? And then you cater it to that. There's not a do this, it's going to work for you in that way, because you got to match up your personality. But I can show you scripting because that'll be, I think, your answer. So if you're scripting a video, whether it's long or short, every video has the same components to it. And everyone here knows how to script. So I'm going to give you guys the components to a video right now. It's the same way you write a letter or the same way you grade your kid on a book report or an essay. Every video has an attention getter. My attention getter to Sherri would be Dear Sherri. The first 7, 8 seconds of a video, you got like 70% of people are going to decide or not if they're going to watch it. So the attention getter has to get right to the point, what you're going to cover, almost like a teaser. Attention getter, next scene is introduction. Then you have a body, and then you have an outro. If I were writing Sherri a letter, I would say, "Dear Sherri, there's my attention getter." My introduction would be like, "My name is Mike Cuevas, the real estate marketing dude. And I really want to come on your podcast. And what I wanted to do was give you 3 or 4 different reasons why. Now, to give you a little bit about myself, I've been blah, 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 blah. My body would be those 4 reasons, my supporting arguments. And then I'd have a conclusion where I'd eventually draw it out. So that same components would be short form or long form.
Okay.
It doesn't matter because anything can be scripted and we already have this skill. You know, when COVID hit, my daughter got sent home with homework. Everyone, kids were at home, and they sent her home, and we had to do a book report on Martin Luther King Jr. And it was my script outline, right? So we're storytelling, guys. So scripting isn't really that difficult. You could literally, with a template, go, okay, I'm going to say this, then I'm going to say this, then I'm going to say this, then I'm going to say this.
So, Kami's asking too, segments I hear are the best. Shoot all day with green and then break it into many segments. Does that work?
Yep. Yeah, we could shoot 1 sentence at a time. I could shoot a couple sentences at a time because it's going to be edited. But it ultimately just matters on what type of content you're going to create. You know, you're going to plan on edits. Very rarely can someone just spit right through a whole script. But you also don't want to be like reading, because you could tell when people are reading, it looks cheesy. So I like breaking it up. 1 to 3 sentences at a time is usually format.
Well, and I think those breaks, you know, when you cut and you can tell it's a more enjoyable video to watch because it's got the fast cuts in it. I don't know what that's called.
Everything on short form is jump cuts.
Jump cuts. Thank you. Jump cuts. I was in TV. I should have known this. So what kind of editors do you recommend? A video editor?
Well, it's really up to you guys on budget. You know, you got to look at, you could get all different types of pricing. We have packages we edit for, but we do sort of an all-around, all-in-one system where we do everything. But you could hire an editor on Fiverr. The key is hiring the right one. There is a reason, not just because someone's an editor too doesn't also know the content you want to create, right? Just, you got to find the right fit. So you got to find someone that knows what you're doing. They understand what you're trying to build, and then you know how to script that and then edit it. But editing is just one half. You got to distribute it too. You got to multi-purpose it. So there's production, then there's getting it out there. So it's really 2 components.
So just because I know you have this company, so where can people go if they want to check that out and
Sure.
your site and stuff like that? Because I want to plug that.
Yep. realestatemarketingdude.com.
Perfect.
You guys can check. There's a lot of content. I mean, you could podcast or the blog, the learning center. There's a ton of stuff on video there. You guys will get a whole course on it. But yeah, check it out if you guys.
I've been on there all morning. Tell me about Zach told me, my producer said he's seen your ads on solitaire apps.
Oh, he's probably getting retargeted on my. I retarget everyone, so I do it on YouTube. Display ads is doing really well for me right now. So YouTube or Google display ads. But I'm on IG, Facebook, YouTube, Google.
Awesome.
Those are my 4 platforms I'm on. I'm going to start messing with TikTok this winter because I think there's a big opportunity with ads there because not a lot of people are doing them. I think you could have a really good opportunity to build an audience there.
So how do real estate agents who say to me, Sherri, TikTok is like for my kids. I go on there, people are dancing. How do I have any real estate? How would that ever, how do I make sense on there? My age, my whatever, right? It's
an advantage.
Yeah.
I'd be the old person on TikTok. What do you mean? That's like, how many are there? There you
Correct.
go. See what I mean? Like you go where everyone's not. I mean, it's, and you have to want to, it's a good point because you have to want to do this, right? So what I tell everyone, I'm like, listen, I'm not going to chase you to go do videos. Like I want you to chase us with footage. So you have to want to go out and create content. And if someone really wants to get on TikTok, guess what? You're going to learn how to do TikTok. So just commit and don't over so I haven't committed to TikTok yet because I know I don't have the time to go all in yet. And when I do, I will, and I'll go all in on it. But you have to want to do this, whether you're going to do video or it doesn't even have to be video. If I want to do door knocking, I'd have to pump myself up to do that. You know,
that's right.
It's the same thing. It's just something that's not hard. It's just new, just like anything else is in life. And practice. I don't like to say practice makes perfect. So I don't think anything's perfect, but you know what I mean.
Practice makes you better and gets you more confidence and gets you doing it. I mean, the whole idea here is to not sit back and watch everybody else go before you and get blown away, because it will pass you by. And I got to tell you, a few years ago, 80% of sellers wanted video, and only 5% of realtors were doing it. And it's like, it's still to me staggering how many people are not jumping on this. What do you think the future, my last question,
Sure.
the future of video is in the real estate space?
More creative production. Everyone's going to have a video team. It's essential now. It's no longer optional. So I think it's going to be somebody, whether you're hiring like a company like us or you're hiring somebody in-house to do it, it's going to be a full-time position. It already is. I have yet to see a team that's embraced video that doesn't do well. I have yet to see someone who's ever tried it that it didn't work. So it's just going to become more core part of our business. It's not that it's just the way people communicate. So it's in any business, not just real estate. If I was own a taco shop, trust me, I'd be putting it on video. My brother actually, this is a perfect example. My brother lives here in San Diego, and he does commercials for a taco shop.
Okay.
And this is the only taco shop doing videos. They just offered him a piece of the company because the ads went so well in 30 to 60 days. So why? Because they're the only taco shop on video. So be the only person doing something, guys. That's it.
I love that. And tell us, how we can download your podcast, because with over 1 million downloads, it's obviously the content's amazing. I want everyone on here to download. It's called Real Estate Marketing Dude Podcast, right?
Yeah, it'll be on all Stitcher, iTunes, all the sites. You can also see it on my website as well. But if you got any major podcast player, I guess, you can access it there. Just look at platform. Just look at Real Estate Marketing Dude, and it should pull up.
Awesome. Anything you want to tell this group of people, that people are listening now or they're listening to this later, what they need to stop doing and start doing? I think we've made that pretty clear, but action items that they could just go start.
Stop overthinking it and just do it. Like, you're not that important. I don't mean that in a negative way, but no one cares about what you're going to create. They're going to respect the fact that you create it, even if you suck your first few. People are going to cheer you on, and you'll be amazed at how many people come out of the woodworks.
I love it. And everybody go to realestatemarketingdude.com. I was already on there. There's so much information on the homepage and on the rest of it that will help you. If you want help, hire these people. This guy knows what he's doing. He's been a real estate agent for over 16 years. You have literally killed it with your podcast with over 1 billion. I said billion. 1 million. $1 billion.
I wish.
Well, look, I think it's going that way. Will you come back and be on our show again?
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. Hopefully I was able to add some value. If you'd like to learn more about us, we're at realestatemarketingdude.com.
You have added so much value, Mike. Thanks again. I appreciate it. And I'm going to be out in San Diego. I want to meet you, and I'll see you and Jesse maybe when I'm out there.
Sweet. Come on out.
Everybody here, take action. Put this into place. Stop getting ready to get ready and just go do it. Build your brand, build your referrals, be referable, and just start doing video. This is the easiest thing you could do this weekend. Let's just go, stop talking about it, and start doing it. That's what I heard today. Get over ourselves. I love your candor. I love your unapologetic. Someone just told me a couple of weeks ago that they loved my unapologetic, whatever, just
they
the way
your authenticity.
And I thought, I don't know if I was like, okay, you guys, you have awesome businesses. Get yourself out there. Use this to leverage your business. You will get more referrals. You will get more play, you'll have more attention, and just start doing it. There's no better way than to just start going. Sometimes we have to start before we're ready. The Peloton coach in my head when I'm running tells me this. You just got to start before you're ready. And I think we just get hung up on getting ready to get ready. It's not going away, everybody. It's here to stay. We just heard it. It's going to be a core piece of how to market yourself. I'm so glad you were here today. And I'm so glad that I get to expand my network with people like you. And I'd love to have you back. And I look forward to great things for you and referring you a lot of business. So thanks again, Mike.
You.
And
thank you guys.
Thanks so much. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.